Hello, hello, hello. My name is Chris of Chrissy's Over the Mountain Crochet and Crafts, and it's good to have you on my side of the mountain. I've been waiting most of the afternoon. I set the time for 7 o'clock, and I was like, when is 7 o'clock ever going to get here? But it's finally here, and I'm glad to see you. Leave me a comment. Tell me where you're at. I would love to make this a giveaway video. I'm happy to give away an ebook from either my Ravelry or my Etsy shop. I'd be happy to do that. But today I want to show you how to crochet one of these little miniature pumpkins. Aren't they adorable? They're just so cute. You can do so much with them, make earrings out of them. I made this set so that I could wear them with denim or just the traditional colors. I'll show you how to crochet this little miniature pumpkin. And I want to, let me show you this. I forgot. You can also make a keychain out of this. Isn't it adorable? So cute. Hi, Lana. It is so good to see you from Mobile, Alabama. How cool. I don't know how to say that with a proper Southern accent, but I think that's so cool. Now, some of you may have missed what I have shared on my YouTube channel lately. And what I have been sharing are tumbler wraps. Now, these tumbler wraps are beautiful, but they need to be accessorized. Thank you. Oh, I said it right. Well, good. So they're beautiful, and I felt like they needed bows. They need a little leather tag. Pick that up in Hobby Lobby. And I also think once I get this ribbon, get the right colored ribbon that I would like to have, I think putting these little miniature pumpkins on ribbon and tying them around the handle would be just so cute. So on my YouTube channel, I have the video for the tumbler wrap. I have the video on how to make the bow and put the bow on the tumbler wrap. And I have the video right-handed and left-handed, and I have the video for how to make a button loop. There it is. This is my sunflower version, and it has a button loop on it. It's very easy to put on and off. Let me show you. A lot of people think these handles stretch out. Well, they will if you try to stretch the bottom part over the top, but there is crochet underneath here. There is a bottom portion, which this is too tight to stretch. And this is the top portion, and it will just slide right up over the handle. I've made so many of these. I've made a lot of them in different colors, but it does stretch enough to come on down over the handle and then just put it right back up. So that's on my YouTube channel. My latest, I kind of took a hiatus this past summer, but I also have put up scented pumpkin sachets. Now I've got a lot of comments this time. I produced a half of the video where I just showed how to stuff the pumpkin and put the stuffing and put the scent in it in the past, and people kept asking, I want the whole pumpkin. So I finally produced the whole pumpkin video. And when I did and I talked about it, a lot of people said, no, that won't work. That will melt. Well, these are 3 years old and they're soft. They have not, the scent has not melted. And I live in West Virginia. I know if I probably lived in Arizona or Texas, they might have melted, but I haven't had one of these have any wax. 3 years old. They still smell pretty good. This was my most recent one, and it smells amazing. I love putting these in the drawers. I love giving them as little gifts. Giving someone a sachet is just a sweet little something, I think. But anyway, let me take a look and see who all's here. There's Lana and Thelma. Thelma, she's from East Liverpool, Ohio, on the Pennsylvania, Ohio, West Virginia border. So you're probably close. No, Kay is in Indiana. You might be close to Kay Mathis. And Kay, I am feeling well. And she's noticed my earrings. Oh, I'm feeling well. I hope you are feeling better. I know you broke both of your wrists. And hi, Lee. Hi, how are you? Thank you. Thank you. So these pumpkins are really quick to make, and there's a bottom, and then there's this divot in the center, and that gives you the ability to put that stiff wire. I'll make a video, a full complete video. Tonight, I'm just going to show you how to eastern end of Ohio near Pittsburgh. Oh, okay, Thelma. So you're closer to Pittsburgh. I get it. All right. Well, it's good to see you. I don't think I have met you before, Thelma. So it's good to have you. I know Lee. I know Kay. And Lana, I think you're pretty new to follow me also, but it's so good to have you all. So good to have you all. So this dented area is the perfect place to put a little dab of glue, and then you can put your ribbon or your stiff twisted twine, whatever you call, down in there, and then a little leaf, and it's perfect. I'm pretty sure I'm going to make a longer one of these, and when I finally get to my ribbon drawer, it's I can't get to it right now. Things are busy in my crafting room. But when I get ribbon, I'm going to put a longer piece of ribbon and then use that to tie onto the tumbler wraps. I think that will be fun. Well, Lana, I'm glad. I'm sorry if I haven't recognized you before, but I don't remember your name, and I'm glad you're talking. I'm really glad about that. It's really good to have you all on my side of the mountain. Now I'm going to try something fancy I have never done before. I'm going to try to show you my handwork. I'm going to push a button here and we'll see what happens. You all can comment and tell me if you can't see very well, but let me push a button here and it should show my hands. Before I go, I want to read what Kay wrote to me. Kay said, last year I made the spa sets. Let me put this on the screen. Spa sets for trafficked women. I think one in Christmas scents would be something I could make this year. That would be lovely. Yes. Everyone needs a little bit of happiness during Christmas, and what those women go through is just so sad. All right, so I'm going to turn on my camera where you can see my hands. All right, here we go. So it's fairly simple. What you're going to need is I have a D crochet hook. You can use a C. Well, you can use smaller if you'd like. I'm using Mandala Sparkle in, what is it? Crux, Crux. Anyway, you can get a Mandala Sparkle or any type of Mandala yarn that has fall colors. Maybe you want something that is in the brown tones that has a little bit of mustard. That's what I did when I made these little pumpkins. I love the modern colors. You can usually interpret that those are pumpkins if you get those dents in there right. So I'm using Mandala Sparkle, and I think they go so well with the gold earrings and the gold twisted. So I'm really liking the Mandala Sparkle. I think there's another color that is in Mandala Sparkle that would be good for pumpkins also. My little ball, and what I do is I cut. Every time I get to a certain color, I just cut the color, and then I roll them all up in balls, and then I just pull out a ball. I decide this is my pumpkin color, this is my leaf color, and that's how that happens. So I'll usually end up with several pumpkin colors. So let me make this screen bigger. I'm done talking. You're also going to need a marker, which I'm using a bobby pin. I can always find bobby pins. So I'm using a bobby pin for a marker. You're going to need scissors, a little bit of stuffing, and a yarn needle. And I really like a metal yarn needle for this, simply because the plastic ones, after you've gone through the center of the yarn of the pumpkin to make so many dents, the plastic yarn needle kind of starts getting stuck and it doesn't want to go through. So I really like this metal yarn needle. All right, so let me just go full screen on my hands. Is the sound back now, Lana? Can you all hear me? I think it's because I had to turn the sound off on my microwave. I had to turn the sound off on my phone. I had to turn the mic so that they didn't feed against each other. So I guess I'm going to have to stay on the screen, and I apologize for that. So let me start over. Okay, let me start over just in case. All right, so slip stitch, make a slip stitch or slip knot, not a slip knot stitch, a slip knot, chain 3, and you can chain 3, join in a ring, or you can use the magic ring. Chain 3, join in the ring, chain 1, and single crochet in the ring 7 times. So you insert your hook in the ring, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. That's the single crochet. Here's the second single crochet, pull up the loop, pull through 2. That's 2. Now I'm getting ready to make my third, but I want you to know that you need to crochet over this yarn tail. That will help you close up that hole. So this is number 3. We need to do 7 single crochets. This is number 4, number 5, number 6. At least I'm not licking my lips. I was afraid I would lick my lips the whole time I was doing this. I had to put my face back up on the screen. I'm sorry. This is 7. When I took myself off, I turned off the sound. All right, now I am not going to join in the ring. Let me make sure I have 7 here. So that's the chain 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, I have 7. I am not going to join. I'm going to immediately place 2 single crochets in the first single crochet of that last round. So 1, 2, but I'm going to put my marker in that first stitch. All right, can you see the work well? All right, I'll make a very good, hopefully comprehensive video, but this is just for right now. I won't be able to have that up until Tuesday. So 2 single crochets in this stitch, 2 single crochets here. That makes 6 total. 2 more. That makes 8. Nine. Lost my loop. We're going to do 9 again. 10. 11, 12, 13, and 14. Let me stop and look. I need to give my neck a break because I'm trying to look underneath my camera, my phone. Yeah. Oh, I know. It's funny, isn't it? All right. Now there is no join, but these next 2 rounds is 1 stitch in each stitch around, but you move your marker. I see 7 of you are watching, and I'm so thankful for you guys. I was afraid nobody'd be here, but I guess you all get to see part of this silliness, don't you? All right, I'm going to move my marker, or take it out rather. Now listen, because you crocheted over this tail or this waist, you can cinch down and pull that and close that hole up very nicely. All right. So now I'm going to put 1 single crochet in this first stitch and put the marker right there. If I don't put that marker in the first stitch of each round, I am lost. I get lost so easy. All right, let me make sure you can see this. All right, I've got the marker there in the first stitch. Now I have to make 13 more stitches. All right. I'm not going to count. I don't like counting. How many of you will like to count? I just know I need to get one single crochet in each stitch around until I get to the marker. And this is really hard. Okay, here we go. I can't wait to watch this back and see what I look like on the camera. I was hoping I could not be seen while I was crocheting. I was wanting to do this on TikTok. I was like, oh, they're going to let me go live on TikTok. And then TikTok said I had to have 1,000 subscribers. How rude. I understand, though. All right, I'm at the end of the round. And I'm going to take my marker out. And I'm going to do one more round of single crochet stitches. Put my marker back. I found a new way to decrease, and I really like it. You all probably know Nikki of Nikki's Homemade Crafts, I think. I saw one of her videos. That's my waist tail. And she showed how to make a decrease in the front loop only of the 2 stitches. And it has its own rhythm. It's just really a neat way to decrease, and it doesn't leave a little hole, because when you single crochet 2 stitches together, it's almost like a cross stitch, and you can see a little bit of a gap. Let me get to the end of this round before I start the decreases. And beginners, sometimes when a beginner is crocheting and this rolls like this, they will tend to think this is the right side, but you have to roll it back so that you see the right side of the work. This is the wrong side of the work. All right. Let me get going. I am wanting to work on that wheat, our staggered wheat stitch. And if this goes well, we may do that with you all. There were several of you when I placed that photo up in the group, and even on my business page showed the photo of that staggered wheat stitch. And a lot of you want to learn how to do that. And I want to learn how to do that. There is a video of a lady who made a hat with that same stitch. She called it the wheat stitch, but Brianna Kay has the wheat stitch all wrapped up. Man, she's made beautiful pumpkins and the blankets. I mean, they're gorgeous. Everything is just so gorgeous. But this is staggered, and it has a lot of front post stitches. And I do want to learn how to do that. And I want to learn how to do that well. And then I want to learn how to do it well with you all at the same time. So if we can set up a time that we all can get together, and I'll do this number, I'll let you all see my hands, and maybe we can work through it together and learn how to do that staggered wheat stitch. All right. And Lana Bailey says no counting. She uses markers instead. I like markers, but I'm generally, I go back and count too. Lana, you're doing the wheat stitch pumpkin, and you made a cup. Oh, you made one of my, oh, you have to post a photo. I would love to see that. Oh my goodness. You're in the group, aren't you? If you're not in the group and you want me to post it on the business page, I would love to do that. And Lee Smith said, I count and then get distracted. Well, I'm not good at counting either, but I'm bad with, I like that type of math. Yeah, I want to learn the staggered wheat stitch too. I'm not trying to take anything away from Brianna. I just really like that. I have a friend who I made the Overbrook Afghan for. And when I took it to the wedding shower, and then another of our friends was helping her with the packages. And when she handed her the package that had my Overbrook Afghan that I'd made for her in it, and when Christy pulled the blanket out and held it up, Gina, which is the other friend, she looked at me, she goes, Well, I'm going to have to get married if I want a blanket from Chris. She said, because I'm not having any babies. And then lo and behold, like 3 or 4 weeks later, she ended up getting engaged. So I have to make her a blanket, and I'm contemplating a like a not an air well, not a sampler, something bigger than something with wider strips than a sampler, but have that staggered wheat stitch in there somewhere. And then maybe even put I don't think I'll put the wheat stitch in, but I don't know what would go with that wheat stitch. But I need to make another blanket for Gina. All right. Okay. And Lana said, and she made the cup cover. And Lee said she'd like to make the staggered wheat stitch. Me too. I'll set a date and I'll send it out in the newsletter. And well, those ladies at church, they just help me so much. I love working in the children's ministries, and they just, anytime I'm like, hey, can you help me here? They just step up to the plate and go on visitation together. They're just great ladies. I love them to death. All right. So let me put my hands back on. I'm ready to show you the decrease. And the decrease is pretty much where we're going to stop, and then we'll stuff the pumpkin. We're almost finished with this. All right. So I'm going to take the marker out, and I'm going to, let's see, make sure you can see I'm going to try to move it up close. All right. Now, how Nikki said to do a decrease is go in the front of the stitch. Then I'm going to twirl and come back to the front and use the front loop. So I used the front loop of the first stitch and then twirled and came back and did the front, went under the front loop of the second stitch. I have to look at myself to make sense. Now yarn over, pull through both, and then make a single crochet. You guys may already know this method. It was new to me. I saw it and I thought, oh, that is so cool. All right. Under the front loop of the next stitch, come back and go under the front loop of the second stitch, yarn over, pull through both loops, 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, and make a single crochet. All right, we need to do this 7 times. All right, yarn under the first loop, come back and go under the second loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and then make the single crochet. I really do like this method. I think I might try some amigurumi now that maybe I have too many projects on hand. Under the first loop, under the second, pull through, single crochet, under the loop. I'm probably not saying this right. How would you say that correctly? I could write it probably better than I can say it. Under that loop, twirl around, come back and go under the second loop, yarn over, pull through 2, single crochet. Let's get going down the road. Sometimes these loops hide on you. But I do like how that looks, don't you? It looks like just a single crochet, but it does reduce the circumference around. It looks like I picked up a hair. Goodness. There we go. Make sure, yeah, that's the stitch. Sorry about the hair, girls. Oh, I forgot to put my marker in. I do that from time to time. Okay. Yeah, I've got one more to make. There we go. I should have put my marker in there. All right, now I'm going to pull up a big loop. I've got a little, like a bean pod. I'm going to cut this off. I have a good little long tail. Now I'm going to open this up. So Lana, you like that decrease also? It does look neater, but don't do like me and forget to put the marker in your stitch. Actually, if you forget, you could just, I knew I had to have 7 stitches because I had 14 to start with. So I could have just counted my stitches, but I didn't want to stop and count my stitches. A lot of times this yarn beginning waist yarn tail, I cut it off because it just gets in the way. It's just a pain. So I kind of open it up and I stuff my pumpkin. It doesn't take much at all. You could actually use yarn scraps. I've used yarn scraps, but when you make the dents, it might not work as well. All right, now I've got it stuffed. I'm going to make a single crochet, not a single crochet, a slip stitch, like 2 stitches away. Just make a slip, well, make a slip stitch somewhere. All right, now I have a fairly small hole. I'm just going to go straight across, slip stitch, and it looks like I need to make a slip stitch right here. There's no rhyme or reason to it. Now pull the tail all the way out. Whoops, it looks like I cut the tail short. I hope I have enough to make the dent. All right, such a little blob. It really doesn't look like much right now. So thread, I twist it really tight and then smash it. And then I shove it down in there and there we go. All right, so this is the center top. This is the top of the center. Just go right down in the center and come out the center. And I give it a pull. Now I'm going to go 12 o'clock. I pulled it and I've grabbed it with these 2 fingers. I'm holding it tight underneath. Now go down through the center again. Went straight through. That was good. And I'll let go of it. I'm a bad girl. There's our first dent. I'm going to want to go straight across. I've got a hold of this real tight. I'm not going to let go this time. Keep working and placing that dent. There we go. We have it halfway dented. Now we're going to turn it to 12 o'clock again. Gonna go down through the center. Yep, I'm pretty sure I went down through the center hole. I did. I'm getting so I can feel with my fingers. Try to keep that. There we go. Starting to look like a pumpkin. Now turn it so we can do 12 o'clock again. I'm keeping a tight hold on everything underneath. Go down through the center again. This is probably the hardest part. Now you can stop right here if you want to. It looks a good bit like a pumpkin. I'm holding on to it tight. What do you think? You think it looks like a pumpkin? I go ahead and I dent it and make 8 dents. I like the way that looks. Pull that tight. Smash this in. I think I probably could have stood to use a little bit more stuffing. Lee, I see you're asking me. You get that. Oh, you get pug hair and everything. Hello, Jacqueline. Oh, good. I'm glad to hear from you. Single crochet. All right, let me finish this and then I'll catch up with your comments. All right, I have 2 more that need to be dented. When I make the video tutorial, I'm sure it will be easier to see and understand. I'll have different angles, hopefully. I don't know. I'm liking the one. Hold on. Now just kind of smash it in. And that looks like a little pumpkin to me. All right. This is the last step for the pumpkin. Then I'll show you what to do with the leaf. So I go underneath. And one of those yarns that I used to wrap and make the dents, I put my yarn needle underneath it. I'm keeping hold of everything really tight and then pull it. That makes a little bit of a knot. And I go through and I do that again. Now this is the top because it has the dent. My eyes are killing me. I'm just going to go in through a little bit of yarn. Now I'm going to wrap one time to make a knot. Pull it down tight and then put my yarn, my needle through and put my yarn out the side. Give it a tight pull and then snip it off. And then that, I think I snipped the side of the pumpkin. And then that yarn tail will recede. I've got a little bumpy because I snipped the yarn. Anyway, so this is the pumpkin. Cute as a button. And we're going to put a leaf right in the center. Let me show you how to, let me read some comments and then I'll show you how to make the leaf. All right, let's see what we have here. So I'm glad this decrease was new for you all too. Oh, Lana, I'm okay with any kind of posts. I see where Lana said she thinks she can and she will post a photo of the cup wrap with the Brianna K's wheat stitch. Look, she is amazing. I don't mind you posting that wheat stitch cup wrap in there. That's totally okay. And she'll tell you she doesn't own that wheat stitch. None of us own the stitch. So you've used your own knowledge and made something beautiful. And you can say it's Brianna's. I'm not a jealous. I'm not saying that other designers are jealous. I'm just not worried about that sort of thing. You are welcome to post anything in the group that you would like. And Lee is asking about the decrease. So she said, single crochet, 2 front loops together. Okay, that's a good way to put that. Love the decrease method. It makes it less visible. I agree. I'm just thrilled. It's a little tedious on a small project. I have a feeling if it were a bigger project, it would look better. But boy, that does look so good. And I don't know if you know who I'm talking about. Her name's Nikki of Nikki's Homemade Crafts. She's the one that has the little hats where she's squeezing the little tails or the ear flaps and the ears are flopping up and down. That's who who I learned that off of. She's a really nice lady. I like her a lot. And Lee Smith said she gets pug hair in her crochet. I'm afraid that was one of my hairs. I'm in a shedding moment right now. And then Lee asked, is it 4 rounds total? It is 4 rounds total before you decrease. So it's a round of 7 single crochets, then a round of 2 single crochets in each stitch, which makes a total of 14. Then it's 2 rounds with no increases and no decreases. And then you start the decrease round. And it's size 3 yarn, mandala. Yeah, now you could obviously do this in larger yarn, whatever you want. But if you use larger yarn, I would add 1 more round before you start the decreases. All right. And she said, and Lana Bailey said, size 3. Yes, a size 3. What I used was Mandala Sparkle in the color CRUX. But Mandala has so many, you don't even have to use a sparkle. But Mandala has so many pretty gradient colors, and I don't even know that they're gradient colors. They go from one color to another, and I just clip them right where they change colors and roll them up in balls, and then I decide what's going to be the pumpkin color and what's going to be the leaf color. So, all right, let me make the leaf. All right, the leaf is super simple, and I have my glue gun here, and I'll show you how to put the leaf in the pumpkin. All right, let's see what my hands are doing. I'm going to move my little pumpkin out of the way. I don't want him to fall on the floor because then I'd have to get up out of my chair, and that wouldn't be good. All right, here we go. So make a slip stitch. This part might be tricky for me to accomplish and make it easy for you to see, but I'm going to do my best. If I can't get that done here, I can do that in a video when I get this made. So it's chain 3. And then, like you're joining in a ring, you slip stitch in that first chain, and then you clip the yarn. Then you finish off or fasten off here. You go ahead and yarn over and pull through and pull that tight. Now you've got a little blob right here. So you pull it tight. Pull both of those really tight. My yarn is fuzzed up. All right, so you pull that really tight and you pinch it together. And I really pinch right here on that knot. I pinch right on that knot. Pull my fingers back. And then I'm going to clip it off, and don't worry. Let me move this out of the way so you can see. I'm going to clip it kind of short. Now I take my glue gun. And I just give it the tiniest squirt of glue. I want to encapsulate these yarn ends. I just want to start getting them wet. Oops, that's a little too much. Oh, here we go. Going to roll it into a ball. All right, here's my pumpkin. And then because that had a little bit of extra glue, I didn't have to put glue down in this pumpkin. Normally, I put a blob of glue in there. And then I just use the end of my crochet hook. And there you go. And cut that little bit of fuzz off of my pumpkin stem. And there we go. And if you want, there is room to put a blob of glue down in there and place I guess I could put a yarn string on that, or put a ribbon down in there, put a little blob of glue, put your ribbon down in there. I've been using this stiff wire, and it works just fine. You can, let me see if I can pull this up close so you can see the glue. Can you see the glue? There we go. So that finished that demonstration. I don't know what y'all thought of that. I I enjoyed myself. I don't know if you all enjoyed yourself or not, but I sure did. And I really do want to make a time that we can do the staggered wheat stitch together. Maybe the first weekend in October. Let me know if daytime or evening time is best for you. Friday nights is really a good time for me. My husband goes to church, and he's the director of the addictions ministry in our church. And he goes and he ministers to them, and the house is totally quiet. He's not distracting me. Although I have made myself a little corner. Look, I've got yarn over here. And I've got my poncho back there. And I don't know if I'm going to paint my walls and hang up things, but I've got a little corner I can come back, and the rest of I can shut the door, and the family can just do what they want, and I can still make videos. So anytime, let me know when you all would like to do the staggered wheat stitch. Wheat stitch. I will probably put up a poll in our Facebook group and on our and on my Facebook business page. And I can also do that here at YouTube. So vote and let me know when would be a good time. I'm going to Buffalo, New York, the middle week. Well, I'm not sure when I'm going to Buffalo. Anyway, I'm going to New York, so there's a certain period I can't come. Thanks, Lana. I like my little corner too. It was really nice yesterday when my grandson came, and he on his lunch break, because he had to come here because the power was out and he needed to do his homeschooling. He's an online student, and he's 7 years old. And on his break, he would come in here and hang out with me and look at all of my stuff. He told me he's going to be a YouTuber when he grows up. I said, well, Granny will help you with that. And Lana, Friday nights work with you. That's good. Well, good. Yes. And it will be nice to work with Jacqueline. Christy said, can't wait to give it a try with proper instructions. Yeah, this was not proper. This was just giving you an idea. If you're advanced, you can take what I just showed you and figure out how to make your pumpkins. But anyway, I love my pumpkins and the little ribbons, little copper ribbon. I love to go to craft stores and just design and dream. I have a girlfriend that I do that with from time to time. She's the one that inspired me to start making the scrubbies that I made years ago. So anyway, it was really good to have you on my side of the mountain. I hope you'll come again soon. And you all take care and God bless. Bye.